All right, okay, so doing some honking. I'm at the still shop. I picked up a raker gauge and a file for the small saws. $11 for the two, so that's the still. But let me tell you what, I got to put my grubby little hands on. Oh, look at that curb. That's my dad's truck. If it was my truck, I'd just go over top of it, but they must have just opened because yeah, right. So anyway, I'm in there and I grabbed the file and I grabbed the I don't like the angle. That's an old truck. So I get the raker gauge, the file, and I'm gonna have to do like a kind of a bizarre U thing here. Oh, stuck here forever. Forever. A lot of tonnage. I'll kind of get out of his way. Yeah, that was a good call on my behalf. Very good call. Dusting me out though. Come on, electric car, hurry up. Traffic here, it's like it's slow, but it's steady. You know what I mean? Can I do that? Oh yeah, okay, I stay in my lane. So anyway, I get the rakers, I get the raker gauge, which it just makes it faster when I'm on the job and I'm not like taking you know 20 minutes to freaking sharpen my saw, you know what I mean? You know, you're getting paid by people, but I mean it is a part of doing business with chainsaws is you do have to sharpen the chain. There's no shortage of videos out there of guys sitting there spending 15 minutes to cut down a tree that's like a foot wide. You know, because all you hear is the chain going like, you know, whatever. Big Dodge Ram. Okay, I'm gonna drive a little slow so we can have a gander at some of the. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Gorgeous. I hope there's nobody in front of me because if not, I'm gonna run into him. Okay. Anyway, I'd love to have a Corvette. I love the Stingray Corvette. Still my favorite body shape of a Corvette. Might not be the most efficient car, or whatever, but they're cool. I've been in them a few times. Never got to drive one, but I've been in them. Anyway, remember this cute girl in college? She had one. And she'd fit 4 of us in there. It's like we'd try to jam us behind the back seat there, but she had like an 80s Stingray, so you could sort of tuck in. You couldn't do it with the 70s one, but yeah. So we're like kind of like trying to hide in that kind of sort of a trunkish space, me and my buddy. Very painful, but we did it. We did it. She'd drive us all over the place, and that she was cute too. She said she got the blue Corvette because it matched her eyes, and I like, it does. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so take like the raker gauge will save you time, and your saw will never cut good if you don't get the rakers right. Period. Full stop. You could sharpen those teeth to razor sharp, but a lot of times your dull saw is, I can just tell by the sound of it, your dull saw is not it's not the teeth, it's the rakers. I can tell when your chain is spinning on the rakers just by the sound of it, right? And mine are starting to do that, and it's just I'm always on a really quick time frame to get it done, so I'm gonna let my dad know I got it, so when he does his, it doesn't take him 45 minutes either, you know what I mean? And you'll know right away whether your raker tooth is proportionate to the actual tooth, right? To the cutting tooth. And if you can keep those proportionate, you're gonna have nice big wood chips coming off. Even off a tiny saw, you'll be highly impressed what a tiny saw can do well sharpened, right? And you'll be baffled by what a big saw can't do with a dull chain and improperly sharpened rakers, right? So anyway, That's all about that. Now let me tell you about the funny part, the fun part. So there's a line of chainsaws sitting there from the MS 170 right up. And I didn't think they would have it in stock, but considering the buzz about this chainsaw is pretty much, you know, the buzz, it's still probably the most talked about chainsaw in the world in history, right? Even more than the very first chainsaws, right? And that is the Stihl 500i. Well, I didn't think they would have one there. Well, they had one there, 1,800 bucks on sale. I don't know what it was on sale for its regular 1,800 bucks. I think it's regular 1,800 with a 28-inch bar. And you can fit, I believe, a 32-inch bar on those, no problem. But the thing about that saw is two things. What makes it so unique is it's the first Stihl saw, and probably the first in the world, to be fuel injected. Not the first type of power tool to be fuel injection. Stihl made a pavement cutter about 10 years or prior. That was fuel injection. They've been making these fuel injection saws for about 10 years now. They were out in Europe before they were out here. So they've got a pretty good review. They're a beast. They're 79 cc's, right? So that's a beast of a saw to begin with. But here's the kicker. It's only 13 pounds. Yeah, 5 horsepower at 13 pounds. The power to weight is phenomenal. Now, would it be a good block cutting saw? I don't know. A heavier saw tends to go through the block a little easier, right? But you just got all that power. And it'd save your back, right? Because it's lighter. So, the 462, which is kind of the saw, in some ways, some people say it's a better saw than the 500. They're marginally, it might be even marginally faster in some circumstances than the 500, depending on the chain and the bar setup, whatever, right? But it's about 3 pounds heavier. And they were side by side, and I picked them up, and yeah, that 500 is as light as my MS 260. You know what I mean? And it's double the power. Yeah. So, guess what Reggie wants for Christmas? You know what I mean? And a saw like that, you would make your money back on it. Now, there is some critiques of it that people like say that it's not as snappy as a carburetor being fuel injection. And sometimes for limbing, it's not as good, but for falling, it's just rock solid. And for, you know, milling and for, you know, doing stove wood, it's rock solid. But for like really quick brush cuts, you got to kind of wind it up a bit before you hit the branch, right? Because of the fuel injection, there's a slight delay. And yeah, okay. But other people are like, doesn't matter. Like, this thing's so fast anyway. Like, the milliseconds you will save on a faster limbing saw, you're gonna lose on arsing around, moving logs around and stuff like that. So like, log cutting time, it counts, but it doesn't. It really depends on, like, if you're falling a tree and cleaning up branches and stuff like that, like, you're always readjusting yourself where you're gonna cut from, your footing, all that stuff. So how fast the saw cuts kind of matters, it kind of doesn't. For stove wood, yeah, you'd probably notice it. For falling trees, you might notice it. But like I say, it really depends on how much arsing around you have to do. And when it comes to logging of any type, there's always arsing around, right? But anyway, yeah, so that was kind of cool. A cool tool for sure. And I'd obviously like to get it on sale, but right now it's an impossibility for me to run up my finances any higher, because I'm already broke as anything, and I got the winter coming and all that, and I don't have it's the same problem I have with the trailer. The reason why I haven't splurged to get the trailer on the road, number one, my truck's broke. Number two, like, I don't have the metal runs lined up, or I would have went for broke. You know what I mean? Because I would have probably made enough money by now that if I had the metal runs lined up, like say 10 tons, 20 tons of metal, I would have put the trailer on the road right away, because it would have paid off the trailer faster, and I probably would be slightly ahead enough, maybe not enough to fix the truck, but at least everything would be paid up and I'd be ahead a bit, right? But because I didn't have the runs set up for the scrap metal, I've got maybe about a ton of metal in waiting. So it didn't make sense for me to do it that way. That's why I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. But because of that, I can't splurge on other things. You know what I mean? Yeah. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you guys.